The downshifts. Wow. Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're going to be going over a 2022 Infiniti Q60 Red Sport 400. First and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Tim Daly Infiniti here in Murray, Utah for giving me some time with this Q60. Check out the inventory in the description down below. And then on a side note, this one is still available for sale. So if you want a Q60, reach out to them. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase cars, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into the review. So under the hood, we have a twin turbo 3-liter V6 that goes through a 7-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 19 around town and then 26 on the highway, with power outputs being 400 horsepower and then 350 pound-feet of torque. And this is the same exact engine that's going in the new Nissan Z. So just saying, it's pretty special. So let's go over the front end of the Q60. So notice how it's kind of raised up here on either side of the hood, and then you can see here in the center part how it's flat. Definitely gives it a low aggressive appearance, and I love how it pops up right there. Now coming down below, of course the light's timed out, but anyways, you've got the LED accent lights, and then you can see here with the projector bulbs, fog light down below, and then you can see the parking sensors here integrated to the front end, and then notice with the Infiniti logo right there. And then notice how the trim is darker in coloration to kind of give this a sportier appearance, because again, it's the Red Sport, right? But there's the front end. Now coming around the side here, we've got two 55mm tires wrapped on 20-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And you can see here from a design perspective, I love the look of the wheel. You got the silver here on the top with the dark metallic gray below that, and I think it just looks great. Got the massive red brake caliper to show that this is a sporty car, but it also contrasts nicely with the white paint on this particular car. Notice the accenting here on the side, pretty cool with the venting. And then you can see here with the side skirt down below, and then the bodywork, how it's really aggressive. Notice the mirrors blacked out. Got a little bit of chrome there on the door handle, and then also around the window trim as well. And here's our full side view. If you guys are wondering, the rear brake caliper is also painted red, and well, there you go. Now here's our key fob. We have our remote start. We've got our lock, unlock, and then the opening here for the trunk, which is press that, and it'll pop it open, and then let's pull it up. And let's go over the storage space here. So you can see it's actually pretty solid. Again, this is a two-door car, but see the storage space back there. And then notice we got the cargo net here. And of course, we got our Infiniti first aid kit. Can't do without that. But yeah, that's everything for the trunk area. So when you're done, just gotta lower it down. Now let's finish things up here with the rear. So you can see here how the bodywork kind of pops up a little bit. We've got our Infiniti logo, all-wheel drive badge. We've got our Q60S badge. And then notice here with the taillights in the rear, parking sensors all along the back. And then I love the look of the exhaust tips. It's actually the same style as what you have on the new Nissan Z. So that's another cool design touch. And notice how it's black here on the bottom portion. And look at the hips there in the back. This is just a really good looking car from every angle. Now here's the front door panel. Notice here with the black leather and then the red stitching, and then we have the red leather and the black stitching. Really cool with the contrast. Got the carbon fiber trim here with the silver trim up above, and then you can see here with the leather and stitching down below. Got our window controls here for the front, memory seats, Bose sound system, and then here's a quick look at the mirrors. Now this actually is a 4-seater. So you can see the seats here in the rear. Notice again, really cool design in contrast with the black and the red. And notice there's even padding here on the side. Usually you don't see that in two-door cars like this. Usually they just leave this to be exposed plastic, but they actually have leather here in the back of the Q60. So the back seat area looks very nice and spacious, and well, you know, for a two-door car. And guess what? The new Nissan Z doesn't have back seats, so this is like the family version of the Z. But anyways, let's go over the front seat area here. So you can see here again with the red leather, got the black stitching, and then notice perforated here down the center, and then notice with the black right there. Power adjustable for the seats themselves, and then pedal layout just down below. And then you got the trunk release and then stability control. Steering wheel is also power adjustable. Got the paddles there on the back of the steering wheel. And let's pop in. Now here is the steering wheel. You can see here with the leather all around and then the red stitching here on the center portion. This has a bunch of safety tech actually. So you've got your adaptive cruise control. We've got our volume controls over here on this side. And then you can see this little thing is actually controls for the center stack. Again, paddles there on the back of the steering wheel. Turn signal, light stock, windshield wiper stock. And, well, there's the steering wheel. Now here's the center gauge cluster, RPMs on the left side. Over on the right side, you've got the speed, and then you've got some different menus you can scroll through here in the center, like to see fuel range, all that fun stuff. We do have some drive modes we can go through though. So notice we got our Sport, Sport Plus, Personal, and then we have our Standard, Eco, and then Snow. And those are popping at the bottom of that screen, but yeah, it's cool the different drive modes you have. And it also pops up here in the infotainment system. And notice how it like shows the different things with the car. I don't know, I think that's pretty neat. Now, popping it into reverse, the backup camera pops up here at the top. Now it's got trajectory lines that do turn with the steering wheel. And then we have a dial down below where you can change the viewpoint here with the camera, which is pretty cool. That's so you don't curb your wheel, right? Which is definitely a nice thing to have when you have a nice sports car like this. But yeah, moving from that down to the infotainment system down below, we got 2 screens. Lots of screen action happening in today's video. You can see functions like a normal infotainment system. Response time with the screen's great. And we've got some analog buttons here at the bottom, kind of like shortcut buttons to help out. And so basically you just use both screens for different things. So like you've got the little dial here at this screen that you can control it, and then use a touchscreen, the buttons for that one. So, you know, takes a second to get used to, but I like it. Anyways, analog controls here for the climate system on either side, and then notice heated seat controls down below that, and that's your whole screen section. Ooh, what's this? Some extra storage space. That's definitely nice and practical. And then we have the shifter for that 7-speed automatic. Again, it has the manual shift function. And then here are the controls for the top screen, and then also drive mode select. And then again, with that carbon fiber, got the cup holders right here, and then center console. Again, notice the padding with the stitching, and then here on the dash as well with that red stitching. Then here's the glove box setup. And then notice how everything kind of flows together with the dash. I think that's nice. And then there's more stitching here at the top, which is another nice thing to have. But popping here to the very top, we've got a sunroof. Control for the sunroof is just right there, and then this has a sunglass holder. And there's the top. So here's a window sticker for this Infiniti Q60. So you guys can see the standard equipment that comes with this particular package. And you can see the optional equipment on this one. So here's the base price before any options. And then definitely the wheels. The wheels look great on this one, so I think that's worth it. Anyways, $66,605 is the total price. And, well, let's see how it drives. So let's go over visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility over the hood, and we'll clean off the window so we can see a little bit better. Both the mirrors, then throughout the rest of the rear. And let's set off. Oh, setting off in the Q60, and this is the first time I've ever driven one. And of course I'm driving the highest performance version of the car. That's how this always works in this channel somehow. I'm like, I just want to review this car, and then it's like the only one available is the craziest version of it. And so then I'm like, wow. Just how it goes. But anyways, actually I'm gonna take it out of the sport mode and see, pop it into standard mode. Okay, so there's definitely a suspension difference. In standard, it's smooth, it's very comfortable. This would be a great luxury daily driver. I love the steering on this car, actually. It's got this nice feel to it. It's very direct. This makes me excited for the new Nissan Z even more, because the steering on this is great. Yeah, this is actually a really fun coupe. It's really fun. So other than that, seat comfort, let's kind of talk about that. And of course, there's another train. Every single time I come through here, it's like train. Bolstering's nice. It's not crazy aggressive, but it does hold you in place relatively well. And the seats are comfortable. I really like these leather seats, and they look nice. The interior on this looks nice. Yeah, going over the train tracks doesn't upset it. This definitely has that luxury car feel to it. Let's pop it into the Sport Plus mode. We're gonna go all out, full on aggression here. But again, you gotta remember it has a bunch of safety tech too. I actually wanna pop into the manual mode. I gotta move the steering wheel down a little bit so I can see what gear I'm in. Sorry if that runs your steering wheel view. I gotta be able to see what I'm doing so that I don't do anything stupid in today's review here of the Q60, but I'll be back with you guys in a second. So as we're going up, I'm probably going to do the acceleration in automatic mode. Now you guys can see the paddles, they work. But there is a little bit of a lag from the point you press the paddle to the gear shift. It's not bad or anything like that, but there is a little bit of a lag. And so just because I'm not super familiar with this car, I'm gonna let it do the shifting for me when we do the full out acceleration. But I can say when you're on throttle, yeah, it's a lot better. So when you're not on throttle, it's kind of like a little bit, and I think it's tuned that way to make it so that it's a smooth shift. Yeah, because off throttle, and downshifts are always quick on this actually. This transmission's way better than people give it credit for. Oh yeah, never mind. Everything that I just said, just throw it out the window. Maybe I should just edit that out. Maybe I won't. But when you're on throttle, it's really quick actually with the gear shifts. So I'm guessing, again, like I said, I'm guessing they did that just to smooth things out when you're in, you know, when you're partial throttle or off throttle with the gear shift, so that the car's not jerking or anything like that. Smooth with the downshifts. Wow, this is quick. I mean, you know, we heard the figures, 400 horsepower, but you know, actually feeling it, this thing's fun. Get another little acceleration. And that all-wheel drive grip is great. You know what this reminds me of? I might get some critiques from people for saying this. This kind of reminds me of the GTR. It really, it's got that sound. It's got that sound with the V6. And, you know, it's not as, you know, the GTR has that dual clutch that's, you know, kind of jerky and violent. This is a lot smoother. This is like GTR meets luxury, basically. I really like this. I love the engine sound is so nice. Man, this is one of those cars that I came into reviewing it, and I've just heard so many things about this car. I've heard that, like, oh, it needs to be updated, and oh, it's not that fast, and I'm leaving this review not exactly agreeing with that. So first off, I think the exterior styling, I don't like, yeah, they could update it to make it so that it's more modern looking, but I think this looks great on the outside. Interior, the seats look great. Material use is actually really nice. Infotainment system, yeah, they could upgrade it to their newest infotainment system, but that's like a whatever, that's a little change. Gauge cluster, same thing, they could upgrade it to their newer gauge cluster. So again, that's another thing, little change. Who cares? Powertrain, the 7-speed automatic does a really good job. It's quick to shift. Now, would it be cool to see this with the new 9-speed? Yes. And I'm sure they're gonna do that relatively soon. I'm sure they're gonna do that. That being said though, how this is set up right now, this is a fun car. And you know, it's unique, right? You don't see a lot of these. You see BMWs and Audis and Mercedes all over, but you don't see as many of these. And so it's kind of got that unique factor. And so if you want, this is what I'm gonna end this video with. If you want a luxury GTR or an all-wheel drive, more practical Nissan 400Z, that's what this Q60 gives you, pretty much. And so, yeah, if you're interested, check this out. That's gonna sum things up for our video on this 2022 Infiniti Q60, and I'm just gonna leave the rest out because you guys know this is just the performance version. It's a long name and it's hard to remember. Huge shout out and thank you to the Tim Daly Infiniti here in Murray for giving me some time with the car. Check out the inventory in the description down below. I'll see all of you in the next video.